All right, before we go into a flow of a whole conversation with the bot, I want to stop and talk about the default answer and this AI stuff. So if we click on default answer here, um, right, we can add something, and I didn't, it comes without something there. I just put something in there to test it, right? So I'll just delete that. Right, we should put in a block, right? So I think the easiest thing in the default answer is to, well, first of all, say text, like say, I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand, right? And so that'll give us a default, if anything, because if you look at this, I can type anything I want in here, right? And that default comes up as, I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand. And that's good to have something like that. Now, what we should do then is not just leave them hanging and kind of keep them in the main flow or something. And again, it's about trying to figure out what logic to use, but I'm going to show you at least what we can do for this. So I want to redirect them to a different block. And so let's go back to our welcome message. And we made this gallery here. But why not? Let's make this something that we can reuse a lot and we don't have to rebuild ever. So what I'm going to do is add a block here, and I'm going to call it just gallery, or main gallery, I guess. Main gallery, right? And I'm going to go back to my welcome message, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say move, and I'm going to move it to the main gallery. I'm going to move that card there. This, well, I might as well move it with it, right? So why don't we just go to move, main gallery, move the card, go to our main gallery, just make sure our typing is above our thing, right? So this card now will always go to the main gallery. So in our welcome message, right, the first thing we need to do is redirect to a block, and we want to bring them to the main gallery. Right, and that's all we have to do there. And same thing in the default answer. I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand. How about, or maybe I'll just leave it at have you understand and go redirect, and let's take them to the main gallery. So now both times we have thing. I wish I knew how to get, is there any way to restart this? No. Nope, I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand. And that's a long 4 seconds. I'm going to turn that down. So let's turn that down right there. But there we go. I didn't quite understand, and it cues them to continue on into one of these things, I guess. I don't know that that's the best way to do it, but it is a way, and I'm just showing you capabilities, and it's all about you trying to think about how to do things. So I'm going to go into this this main gallery. I'm going to bring this down to like, a second. That's fine. So one other thing I want to show you in this video besides the default answer is this AI. Because remember, this video is all about like what happens if they type stuff in here and they're not in the command flow, and what do we do? So I'm going to go over to this tab, Set Up AI. And so we can use a little bit of that natural language processing to add certain replies. So let's say someone says hi, and I'm going to reply with text like, I'm going to say, sup, bro, right? That's my rule right there. So let me go back to my Facebook Messenger, and I'm going to say, hey, and hey is a lot like hi, right? So the natural language tells it to go, hey, sup, bro. Obviously, that is not the most useful thing, but you can add as many of these rules as you want. So, and they can go to either, you can have text replies or you can have new blocks that you send the people to. And let's see, I like fish, and I'm just gonna test the AI right here. I'm gonna say good for you. And now I'm going to go back and test it and say, I like salmon. Oh, look at that. I am super pleased by that. So, again, you see how it works, right? Natural language processing. We don't have to do any of that on our own. Chatfuel has set up all that background. Obviously, someone's not going to come in and do this. But why don't you go ahead and at least try to come up with something that might be more appropriate for our COVID-19 thing? I actually am appending a little bit here because I went in and I said, I don't feel well. And instead of sending them text, I sent them to the nurse. And in my nurse, right, I just set up it just to respond, whoop, come on. I'm sorry to hear that. So I went over here and I said, I think I'm sick. And it still gave me sup, bro. So I don't think that did so well there. I don't feel good. I'm sorry to hear that. I think I'm sick. Sup, bro? So I think part of this AI, you can't just put one word down. You're going to want to, whoops, where am I at here? Let's go back in here, right? So you just enter something and then hit return. And you can say, I feel sick. Do I have coronavirus? You know what I mean? Whoops, return. What else can there be? My tummy hurts, right? Or I can't breathe. Or I have a fever. Return. You know, just a bunch of things, and then that way, you know, it'll get things on the fringes. So now I feel sick. I don't feel well. Let's see what happens with what was it? I think I'm sick. I think I'm sick. Sup, bro? So it's still not picking that one up. So it's just a matter of I think. So you'll have to test some of these, right, to make sure that you get enough, because the natural language processing is in no way perfect. So you're going to have to actually probably come up with a number, you know, a number of different terms that might be able to be used in this natural language processing.